Well, from scoring late against Brentford, Arsenal returns to Premier League football, and it's all gonna be at the Emirates, a stadium that capacitates 60,704 people under the lights in there for you. I think it won't be the lights because it will be at around 3 p.m. in the UK and 12 p.m. 6 p.m. I think in Africa. So Arsenal is going to be hosting Wolves at the Emirates, and Wolves was going to hate to shock some teams this season. They shocked the side of Manchester City. They beat them at home by 2-1, but we all know that when it's being played at the Emirates, it's a different kind of affair altogether. Away from home, they can obviously put in a shift, but at the Emirates, it's going to be hard for them because Arsenal looks like they've gone ahead to really be on fire. Ever since they lost to Newcastle, they've gone ahead to win their next two fixtures, 3-1 against Burnley, 1-0 against the side of Brentford. And they're coming through in high gear after winning RC Lens in the Champions League by 6-0, and they'll be needing to capitalize onto that to obviously show their fans that we can obviously do the needful and put a good number of goals past the side of Wolverhampton Wanderers. Though even Wolverhampton Wanderers is not a hard nut to crack, as I'm going to show in the head-to-heads that are going to come to you in a few, because they're really having some good players. The likes of Lamina in that midfield, the likes of Tuna, Huang, that guy, but they're missing out on Nori, that left back, the Algerian international, and Pedro Neto, who is really fighting to see to it that he gets back to full fitness. Remember, he got injured and I think has been out for a month. And Pedro Neto is the player with the most number of assists, and he has been linked to Arsenal, and very many Arsenal fans really want to see if they sign this player. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. Hope you guys are really doing fine. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And this is Rokani David onto this channel. And let's see close to 300 likes on this video, and tell us your thoughts about this game into the comment section below. We thank God for the gift of life. The Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum. Welcome back from the mosques. Juma Karim is over, and let's focus onto the next step of life. And remember, it's the 1st of December, and we thank God for the gift of life that he has gone ahead to give us the best that we deserve as a team, and you people, you are really great. And remember, our goal, we want to hit 20,000 subscribers before the end of this year, and we are left with like 1,800, and I think we are going to hit that mark. So let's go to the side of Arsenal. Who is out? Emily Smith-Rowe is out, Thomas Partey is out, Julian Timber is out, and the latest injury that has been added to the three that Arsenal will be having is Fabio Vieira, who, even if he was available, couldn't feature into this game because of the straight red card he got when Arsenal was playing against Burnley, and his ban will be left with one game after this game of Wolverhampton Wanderers being played tomorrow at the Emirates. So those are the players of Arsenal that are really not available, but the rest of the players are really available. And you have no doubt that Arsenal are going to be the favorites, but Wolverhampton Wanderers are really going to come in through to play with a high intensity, and they're a team that has players that really run throughout the entire 90. That is it. For the full 90, they all run. Now, the system is 4-3-3 that Arsenal is going to deploy as they take on the side of Wolverhampton Wanderers at the Emirates. And remember, this is the system that Arteta is accustomed to, and he has gone ahead to get him lots of wins. And remember, Arsenal comes into this game when they are going to be on top of the table, because no team plays before Arsenal that can obviously dislodge them from the top of the table. Spurs, Man City are playing on Sunday, you understand. Then which other side? Liverpool, I think they're playing on Sunday. Those are the only three teams that can obviously dislodge Arsenal from the number one spot. And Arsenal really have a very huge advantage that if at all they beat Wolverhampton Wanderers, they'll go 4 points clear ahead of Man City. That is, I remember Man City second Tottenham Hotspur. Never say never. Amid Spurs having lots of injuries, you never know what's going to happen into that game. So we wait and see what everything is gonna be all about. So we go to the starting 11 in the goal. Obviously, he returns having missed out on the game of Brentford because of what really happened, that he couldn't play a team that loaned him at Arsenal. That is Brentford. So David Raya comes back in between the stitches of Arsenal. And the right back is really one of the most contagious positions at Arsenal because very many players can play that position. Tomiyasu played close to, I think, 60 minutes and they took him off. Then they brought in Benjamin White, who most of you call Ben White, and he did the needful. So all those two are fit, but how do you obviously line up when you're taking on Wolverhampton Wanderers? That takes us to who will come in through and really play into this position. I think it's going to be Tomiyasu. Ben White has been a regular into that position, and the manager really believes Ben White is going to have to play lots of games and is coming from injury. Then it's really better not to obviously rush him back into the starting 11. I think it's better to obviously see the two share the minutes, Tomiyasu and Ben White, and I think that's working well for Tomiyasu. And for Tomiyasu, there is no way you drop him, having gone ahead to really put up 2 assists into that game of football. So how do you really put him out? How do you really put him out? 2 assists for the goal of Gabriel Martinelli and for the goal of Martin Odegaard. No way you put him out of the team, and I think he deserves to start. Left back, Zinchenko for the previous 2 games against Brentford and against RC Lens, he really looked good. He looked good, and trust me, you'll all agree with me that he has gone ahead to put in a shift, and he's really turning out a very good player. And I think these recent days, all weeks, Arteta has been working on the defensive side of Zinchenko a lot because Zinchenko is putting in shifts, that everyone is really giving a go. So I think Zinchenko deserves to obviously start as the left back. See to it that he takes on the side of Wolverhampton Wanderers as they come in through to play the side of Arsenal. And for Wolverhampton Wanderers, they're obviously going to be having who plays as a right attacking midfielder, because they play with this system of 3-5-2, and Hwang plus Semedo are going to obviously be facing this guy. So wait and see how he's obviously going to come in through under the needful. Now for the central defense partnership, we all know that always on the right on the right side of central defense is William Saliba, and the left side is gonna be Gabriel Magalhaes. One of the best central defense partnerships in the Prem that most people have gone ahead to really approve. They are really good, and trust me, they've not gone ahead to let Arsenal down. That's why Arsenal is on top of the Premier League table with 30 points in 13 games, meaning that Arsenal has gone ahead to collect 30 out of the possible 39 because of the draws they've gone ahead to make against Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur. Which other draw did Arsenal make? Fulham, and then the loss to the side of Newcastle. That is it. So that is the back four of Arsenal that I really believe is obviously going to take on the side of Wolverhampton Wanderers. But Cunha and Hung are really going to really give them a hard time because they have a lot of energy, they have a lot of intensity, they are physical, but you cannot downplay the efforts that Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba are going to put into place to obviously see themselves win this battle. So wait and see how that pans out. Now we go to the central midfield of 3. I think Declan Rice is going to start in the single pivot for the side of Arsenal, and we've seen how good he's going to have to make this Arsenal side look because of his efforts and how he plays into that double pivot. That is Declan Rice for you. Alongside who? Alongside Martin Odegaard and Kai Havertz. So Martin Odegaard was on the score sheet on Wednesday. He scored a very beautiful goal. It was like a snapshot that curled into the back of the net. that everyone really went ahead to really approve. Then Kai Havertz scored the opener for 2 consecutive games that Arsenal have gone ahead to play in the Premier League and the Champions League. This guy's gonna hate obviously be on the score sheet, and this is what Arteta really wanted, to say to it that he hits the ground running and is getting in the goals. You know, in the modern game of football, people don't really see the stats. I always came in here and told you that Kai Havertz will come good, and I saw his progress, but people wanted goals, and now goals have gone ahead to start to coming through. And by the way, he's scoring the most important goals for Arsenal in the previous 2 games against Brentford. The only goal that Arsenal needed to obviously win the game was scored by Kai Havertz, and he opened up the rampant annihilation at the Emirates as Arsenal beat RC Lens 6-0. So that is the midfield 3 that is going to face the likes of Lamina, if at all you know, then Ballegred and Joe Gomez. So it's really going to be a very huge battle in there for you. Now, the front 3, I think it's not going to change. Saka, right forward. He also scored a goal and put up an assist in the midweek. And remember, in the weekend, he had an assist on him. Then Gabriel Martinelli, left forward, doing the needful in there for you with a goal also, as Arsenal beat RC Lens by 6-0. And then Gabriel Jesus, gone. He scored a very beautiful goal. And I just did a story about Thierry Henry approving his number 9 qualities. That is none other than Gabriel Jesus. So, Gabriel Jesus will be facing a back 3 of T. Gomez, Kilman, and Bueno. That is it. So, how is he going to go ahead of that? God knows. Semedo is going to be facing Martinelli, and I think Doherty will be facing Bukayo Saka. But Arsenal being at the Emirates, I think they have every tool to obviously put this side of Wolverhampton Wanderers onto the sword. But anything can happen. Anything can happen onto that day. Now let's go to the head-to-heads before I come in with my prediction. 1. Arsenal have won their last 4 Premier League games against Wolves, having won just 2 of their previous 8 against them. So, Arsenal was on fire. Even remember, before we went to the international break, Arsenal had to beat Wolverhampton Wanderers by 2-0. Even when they came in at the Emirates, Arsenal gave them a beating that they really deserved. So, Arsenal has an edge. Secondly, Wolves have never kept a clean sheet in 18 previous Premier League games against Arsenal, losing this exact fixture 5-0 last season. In the Premier League history, only West Bromwich Albion have faced an opponent more without ever recording a shutout. 26 also against Arsenal. So, Wolverhampton Wanderers has a lot to really fight for, you know, but will Arsenal allow them to obviously come in through and really fight for it? A huge doubt into my thoughts. When I contemplate about it, Arsenal is really miles and levels ahead of this team. Now, number 3, Arsenal have scored in their last 31 meetings with Wolverhampton Wanderers in all competitions since a 1-0 home loss in February 1979. If they score here, it will equal their longest scoring streak against an opponent in their history. So, Arsenal are really levels, even in history. 4. Wolves have already won a Premier League game against the league contenders this season, beating Man City 2-1 in September. However, they've lost all 6 of their away games against sides in the first place in the competition. So, it's really hard for them, you know, to come in through at Arsenal and really tussle out for results. You know, they just have to pray to it that Arsenal doesn't annihilate them. That is it. Arsenal have kept the most clean sheets and conceded the fewest goals, 10 of any Premier League side this season. Their 10 goals conceded is their fewest 13 games into the season since 2013-2014, also 10. So, it shows you that Arsenal are really a very good side when it comes to defending. Though at the Emirates is a different story altogether. In the Premier League, they've gone ahead to keep a clean sheet in 2 games against Sheffield and against Man City. That's why my prediction is going to come in through as a 3-1 in favor of Arsenal, because I know Arsenal keeping a clean sheet at Emirates is really hard, especially in the Premier League. So, and when Arteta is playing such teams, you know, he's going to open up totally. And the clean sheet against Man City was like this was a game of chess where two managers were really looking at not conceding any goal, and it's not it that even the goal that Man City conceded through Gabriel Martinelli, it was really one of those goals that you wouldn't come out and really expect in their favor, because Arsenal played a long ball from Thomas Partey. It reached the head of Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu headed it to Kai Havertz, and Kai Havertz could contest it and pass it to Martinelli, and Martinelli went into an effort that was deflected by Nathan Ake into the back of the net. When you look at Wolverhampton Wanderers, the last game they've gone ahead to play, away from home, they lost to Wolverhampton. They lost to Fulham by 3-2, right? And they beat Spurs at their home. They drew 2-2 with Newcastle. They played out Sheffield. Sheffield beat them by 2-1. You know, they beat Bournemouth 1-2. So this season, have they won a game away from home? I don't see any. Crystal Palace beat them by 3-2. They beat Everton by 1-0. So that is it for them. So my prediction is a 3-1 in favor of Arsenal. But Arsenal need to really score fast and early, because Wolverhampton Wanderers can park the bus a little bit and hit you on the break. But if you want to sabotage their plan, just go in for an early goal. An early goal will obviously give Arsenal a lot of space to operate and dismantle the plan of Wolverhampton Wanderers of parking the bus and then hitting Arsenal onto the break. Now, I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below. What are your predictions for this game, and what do you think Arsenal should do to see to it that they go 4 points clear ahead of Manchester City, and that will pile a lot of pressure to Manchester City as they face a side of Tottenham Hotspur on Sunday. Arsenal is playing tomorrow at 18 hours. You can convert it in any time where you are in your country. And Man City will play later on Sunday, meaning that if Arsenal gets the job done, the more pressure they pile onto the side of Man City. May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokani David remains my name, and I sign out for now. See you later. The Muslims Barakallahu Fikum. See you when you see me. Bye-bye.